What's happening, everybody? You're tuning into Music and Motivation with Chris Davis. This is a very special episode. I got a very special guest with y'all, and we'll get to him in just a second. My man Adam J. Feathers here to kick it with us. And to start off, man, we got a little bit of his music that we'd like to share with y'all. So give it up, man. This is my man Adam J. Feather. Go for it. Kick this mule. Wow, that was awesome, man. I wish we had the camera up. I was just freaking jamming it out, dude. It's like I was back at the Adam J. Feather show, you know?
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did. What was the name of that song, my man?
Song is called With Our Love.
With Our Love. Okay.
If you couldn't maybe tell from the lyrics.
I definitely got the Our Love part, but I couldn't tell it was For Your Love or... Okay. No, I hear that in there, too. I could see that being the hook, too. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
That's awesome, man. I love it. And that guitar solo, bro. I'm. If anybody really knows me, they know I'm a crazy guitarist, and I respect a awesome guitarist too. So that was awesome stuff right there. And like tone, the search for tone. Am I right? I hear it. I hear it in there, bro.
Yeah. It's tough to find,
and it's tough to make your own, right? You know
exactly.
what I mean? Cultivating it, I can tell you've put some time into it. So, glad to have you here. Thank you for coming on, bro. It's a pleasure and a blessing.
Not a problem, man. Thank you for having me. It's a blessing.
Let's see. We're at the top of the hour. Hey, real quick, thank you guys for being here too, man. This show doesn't happen without viewers like you. And thank you for tuning in, man, and supporting me and my man Adam Feather here. We're at the top of the hour. We got everybody's attention, dude. What bands are you in right now? Where can these people find your music right now? And what was the last one I had for us? Oh my gosh, I'm messing up so bad. I can't read my handwriting. From far away, I need my glasses. Oh, and upcoming dates. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We got to plug everything.
Of course. Yeah, we got to make a good plug. So I think I'm in 4 bands right now.
That's why I asked.
I'll go through each one individually. The main one right now is called the Boomerangs. They play everything from the 50s, 60s, 70s, all the way to the modern day. Elvis, Dwight Yoakam, Bruno Mars, Journey, Eagles.
Eclectic mix. As they
everything. Yeah. And it's really fun. But that band is going to be, we're playing actually in my hometown, Bowling Green, this Saturday. And then I believe the next gig is Sky Music Lounge on the 30th of July.
Awesome.
And then I think 13th of August, we're playing back at we've got kind of a residency at Balducci Winery. We play there once a month.
That's cool.
And that's in Augusta, Missouri. That's really fun. It's going to be a 7-hour show, 70 songs, no repeats.
Oh, my God.
It's great.
No repeat weekend, bro. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then I also play in a blues band from Cape Girardeau called Adam Feather and Minus Mike. So that's because the previous guitarist was named Mike, and he moved to California and is pursuing a doctorate in guitar studies. I give him all my blessings and luck. I believe he's going to do great with it. But that's why they wanted to name the backing band Minus Mike, because Mike's no longer there.
Gotcha.
We are playing July 10th. We're playing the Bayou, which is right outside of Jackson, Missouri, which is real close to Cape Girardeau. Then we're playing July 29th, Cape Girardeau, a place called the Library. And then we're playing August 19th, I think. It's a Friday or Saturday, I don't remember which one. At a place in Farmington called the Sand Trap, near Farmington. It's kind of like in between Farmington and Bonne Terre. So a lot of traveling for that band, but it's fun and it's worth it. They play blues. We play a lot of blues and a little bit of country here and there. Right. Just pepper it in. Really fun working with those guys. And then we have a little band I used to play in. We kind of get together every once in a while. We don't have any pending gigs. Called Désolé, or in Haitian Creole it means sober, which if you had met the people in the band, you would know it's kind of tongue-in-cheek. No sobriety there. But we've been jamming around a little bit, and we're maybe thinking about getting a couple of gigs.
Yeah. It's hard when your schedule's already so full up, right?
Yes. And then the last band is my own personal thing, and I kind of took a break. I had a wonderful show with you at the Broadway Boat Bar. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate you getting me in on that bill because it was fun.
It was. I only. Here's the deal. I book when I'm doing the booking. which is rare. That's a rare opportunity, am I right?
Yeah,
So I
certainly.
take full advantage of that rare opportunity, and I book people that I want to listen to, and also like the homies, right? Which you fit both of those because I enjoy your music too, bro, and it's always fun to get to watch you. But that was my favorite Boat Bar show thus far, and there's going to be more coming up. There's more announcements to come, but to speak about them now would be too early. Okay,
That's understandable.
so
Awesome. Yeah, man. And that personal band, we play a couple of originals, and then we stick to more guitar influenced, like 80s, 90s type of stuff, and then we also play a lot of like emo band stuff from the early 2000s. You probably do recall
the late bar crowd songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the stuff that gets people pumping and having a good time. You
a
know
lot of
what I mean?
sing-alongs.
That's what. Yeah, everybody. You know what I mean? And it's the trashy ones that you couldn't sing in front of mom.
That's
You know
right.
what I
That's
mean?
right. Some of
that's
them
the fun, yeah.
not too clean of lyrics, maybe, but
It's a good time. It's a great time. That's
really
why
good
I
fun.
have fun. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's the Adam J. Feathers project, man. Be watching for Adam J. Feathers, guys. He's a madman, okay?
Yeah, and so that's all I have as far as the local bands in St. Louis that's going on. St. Louis, Cape Girardeau, I guess it's starting to get less local.
What's the name of the Cape Girardeau band one more time?
Adam Feather and Minus Mike. That's on
yeah,
Facebook. Okay. If you want to add me, I'm just Adam J. Feather on Facebook. I don't have a fancy band page for myself because it's just me. I want to be myself. I want to be nice and transparent about it. And so, hey, add me up there. Follow me, whatever you want to do. Or if you want to send hate mail, you can send me some hate DMs too. I don't care. I'll read them.
Yeah, and if you're sending hate mail, they're probably having a bad day. That's the deal.
Hey.
So like you wish them well.
I'll try to make their day better, hopefully.
Right. You're just taking out your day on the wrong person. For real. What are you doing? Get your shit together.
That's right. As far as original music, I don't have anything out yet. I'm working with my DistroKid, I believe. I've got DistroKid working out the I think I'm going with ASCAP on the rights.
Right.
And everything like that. ASCAP and BMI do have competitive offers on that. I'm still kind of on the fence, but I'm not sure which one I'm leaning towards. Which one did you use? Did you use?
We need to talk off air.
Okay. Hey, what's up?
If you're watching this and you're in, laugh, bitches.
You know.
Laugh. And don't fuck me. I'm coming for you if you fuck me. All right. We're over 10 minutes in. Don't fuck me, Eric. Okay? All right. Let's. Sorry.
Oh, man, that's funny.
But we need to talk about BMI and ASCAP off air sometime.
Yeah. It's a heated debate. It definitely.
Exactly. That's why I'm in the same predicament as you. We should talk, okay?
Okay.
I'd like
Hey.
somebody who knows a little bit to help,
Yeah.
At least, give me your opinions,
I've done a lot of studying, and especially with the music copyright law and stuff like that, I feel like educating yourself is so important
now.
to do it now before you put out any music, because too many people just find themselves in the rabbit hole, and they get their music stolen, and they get their rights stolen, or they don't have rights, they don't get money paid to them when they blow up on YouTube or whatever, and
it's important.
Not that that's my goal, but I mean it's a possibility, and you want to definitely protect yourself if you can.
Yeah.
Everybody out there that's in the music game should be trying to do that.
Tips for musicians and music lovers, guys.
Hey. That's a later segment, of course, but that's not my tip of the week. I've got another one for you.
We'll get there, man.
Let's see. There was another
part. And dates, but you did a great job of sharing dates for the bands as you went through. So way to go, man.
Hey,
it's a lot of bands to keep track of. So
I know.
You gotta.
Yeah. Hey, man, this brain it's a rusty steel trap, but it's a steel trap.
Let's see. Let's get into this interview a little bit, man, because I got stuff I want to ask, dude. I need to get this over here so I can read my freaking handwriting.
Oh, do your thing, man. Do your thing.
So,
I like the cursive, by the way. Not a lot of people use cursive anymore, and man, it's
Catholic
beautiful.
School. It was beat into me, dude. It's beat into me. It explains a lot. You get to know me a little bit. It explains a lot of stuff.
Certainly.
So, real quick, man, give us a quick. This is gonna sound crazy, bro, when I say this sentence. Give me a quick synopsis of Adam J. Feather, bro. Like, what was your upbringing like? How about we start there?
It was an interesting upbringing. Definitely, music influenced. I don't think that it would be any question. Looking back, whenever you're going through like middle school and high school, everybody's got that like, oh, what should I do? You can be this, you can do this, you can do this. But looking back to even like, I remember some of my first, like in kindergarten, going to music class and being in music class. I remember in first grade we had a choir, like a student choir recital thing, and I was so mad. I don't know why I was mad, but the footage is out there somewhere. I'm on the front row of the choir with my arms crossed, not singing, staring at the director, just pissed. I don't know why.
Not what I want to be doing right now.
Yeah. I don't know if I wanted the solo or if I wanted to be on the back row or something. I don't know. I was pissed, and it was an interesting. I remember that. I remember doing that when I was like 5 or 6 years old.
It's hard to remember those early memories, but so like music class, you can remember it all the way back to kindergarten, first grade, and stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's very interesting. My upbringing was quite disaffectioned or whatever you want to call it. I grew up very poor. Not a lot going on. My dad was self-employed. My mom has been disabled her whole life, and go through good years and bad years, feast and famine, of course.
I understand.
And so most of my upbringing was we were on food stamps. We were struggling. We'd have one pair of shoes for the year.
Fighting for the house. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, exactly. And so like having that upbringing really
humbles you.
It definitely humbles you. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, because it makes you appreciate good things when they do come, and then it also teaches you when you're struggling. It teaches you how to survive when you're struggling. Something that maybe not a lot of people that didn't have that type of upbringing would understand. If they lose their job or something, they freak out and they don't know what to do. And as seeing my dad be self-employed and stuff, and my parents divorced at a very young age, and it was a lot of fighting and anger and stuff at the beginning.
Yeah.
But ultimately they decided that the kids were more important than their personal feelings, and I really respect my parents for doing that too, because without that, it would
would have been chaos.
I might be in jail right now. Right. Who knows?
Yeah, okay. I understand.
But yeah, man. So I mean, like, it's really good that my folks, they had a good head on their shoulders to understand, that the kids were more important,
Than
so
our fighting, our BS.
Right, and they realized that they were, if they had stayed together, it probably would have been way worse as well. They realized, hey, this is not working. It's not sustainable for our kids. Let's do something else. You go this way, I'll go this way, and they made it work. They made it work, even with as they say, a broken home and
Man, love and respect, dude.
No money and shit like that. So like, yeah, it's all the respect in the world to my parents. They're both great, and now as we've gotten older, we've gotten really close to my family, and they're great people.
Yeah, as you do with, and not everybody has a good family. You see it, like, especially, I mean, growing up in West County here, which I'm going to get to in a second. I want to hear, are you from West County too, or
no?
Like, tell me where you're from.
Okay, so we grew up in the country. And so if I get a couple drinks on me, you hear some country accent coming out. Yeah. But I haven't been drinking for the last 6 months or so.
Good job.
And grew up in the country in a little town called Bowling Green, Missouri, and real small town. And we lived outside of town in the country. So we were way out there, and it was nice actually. Not a lot of stuff going on in Bowling Green. Really small town.
Yeah. I know.
And the biggest thing that you had there was a reason to leave. Basically, okay, let's go to the city and get something done. So, both of my parents had lived in St. Louis at some point in their life and then moved back out there. And so I kind of got that from them. They're like, hey, there's nothing out here. If you want to come back and retire, come back and retire, but you got to go out there into the world. You can't just sit at home. You can't do nothing.
Well, it's cool that they respect that. You know what I mean? I understand. Not every parent from a small town is like that. You know what I mean? You got to pick up the family business out here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Well, and some people, that's their path,
Right. No, totally.
And
all the respect in the world, man. My family's from Perryville, Missouri, so.
Okay, yeah, that's really close to Cape,
Yeah.
So, spent a lot of time down there in Perryville area.
Good
so,
people, but
yeah, it's a nice small community. It's similar to Bowling Green, about 3,000 people, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So similar roots here.
Let me see. What else do I got here? This was when. So obviously you remember music class from when you were really young, like kindergarten, first grade. But when did you first pick up the guitar?
Late.
Late.
Not as late as some people, of course. When I was young, my dad tried to get me into guitar, and he played me a couple of songs. He knew a couple of songs, but he never held on to a good guitar. It was kind of like, work came first for him. So
Right.
sometimes he would, pawn off the guitar or whatever to put food on the table. And so at the time, in the upbringing, it didn't seem like that an important of thing to me. And my uncle had a drum set. I really liked banging on that.
Yeah.
But, of course, being poor, we couldn't afford a drum set. So it was more of just like
a passing curiosity.
Yeah. It was kind of like, even at a young age, kind of a pipe dream. Like, oh, well, it would be cool to play drums, or oh, it would be cool to sing, or it'd be cool to, play guitar. But couldn't afford lessons, couldn't afford, a guitar, couldn't afford this or that. It was just unattainable at that point, at least in my mind. And maybe I was incorrect in saying, of course, my parents would probably, if I was like 6 years old and say, hey, I want to get a guitar, they probably would have gotten it for me. But at that age, even, I understood our situation. I didn't want to put any more stress on my parents.
You grow up a little early in that situation, you know what I mean? Which is...
Yeah. And it's a good thing and a bad thing,
Right.
Again, you can look at it from the negative perspective, or you can look at it from the positive perspective.
You gotta look at it from the positive and say that made you who you are, and be appreciative of it, right?
That's right.
But
yeah.
also appreciate where you are now too. You know what I mean?
Right. And so like with the guitar thing, I ended up getting a guitar when I was 14. 14th birthday, I think. And it took us. We had to put it. It was like my pops looked all over for a used guitar because he's all about saving as much money as possible,
totally.
And could not find a used left-handed guitar to save our life.
Oh my God.
At least
in Bowling Green.
In Bowling Green, of course. Yeah, of all places.
City to find something like that on Craigslist,
Right, and this is like just the time where Craigslist started to become a thing. My pops is pretty computer illiterate at that point in time. He's gotten better. But so we came to the city. We had to get a new one, and it was like $250 or something like that. An Epiphone Les Paul or something.
Left-handy. Yeah.
Lefted, yes. And we had to put it on layaway for like 3 months to get it. And so like we got it on my birthday, but I didn't get to hold the guitar until like Christmas, And so. A little bit of build-up. My Uncle John, he's a phenomenal player, and it would be great to collaborate with him someday in the future. Because he started playing at 21, but he taught himself very methodically. And so it was less of like a passion of his and more of like, I want to teach myself something that I could be proud of. And so he started with an acoustic, and he built himself up. And so he gave me my first 2 lessons. He taught me how to string a guitar, how to tune a guitar, and then he taught me the A minor blues pentatonic scale that everybody else learns. Yeah. And then he taught me, Rock You Like a Hurricane by Scorpions, just the intro riff.
Nice.
And that had me hooked. And so after that, I would play on his guitar. I'd flip it upside down and just screw around with it for the first couple of months, and then got my own guitar. And took to it very quickly. Taught myself, everything that I know so far. And it was very quick. It was not a struggle for me. I don't know if it's maybe one of those innate things.
Everybody's got like a left or right brain and all that shit. First of all, we're all different, right?
That's right. That's right.
Some people take the stuff quickly than others. Some people have to work for it, and some people give up. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. And it was very easy for me, and I feel blessed to say so. I was playing Jimi Hendrix in a month. I was playing, you know, in
that's a blessing.
in like 6 months I was playing some Steve Vai stuff. You know, it's just it came very naturally to me, and it was very strange for my parents and those that were witnessing, because they're like, "Well, you're not struggling. Like, what is going on here? Like, you've never played guitar in your life, and now you're like just excelling with it, you know?" And that was, I think I attribute that a lot to my work ethic as well with the guitar. I practiced for at least 3 hours a day, every day for the first 3 years. Every day. I didn't miss a day.
Yeah.
And I took it on, you know, my dad is a truck driver. I took it on trips with him, and I would play while we're like riding to, you know, Michigan or something like that, you know. And so I had a good work ethic with it, but it was very, you know, it came to me very naturally. And so started with the guitar. I played that for about 3 years, and then I got into school band late. Most people get into school band in 6th grade.
School, yeah.
I got in 11th grade.
Oh, wow.
And halfway through 11th grade, mind you, the music director, great guy, Chris Pieper. Shout out to Chris Pieper. He saw the potential in my guitar playing, and he was like, "Yeah, just come on, you'll be a drummer. We'll make you a drummer. I'll give you private lessons." So he, out of the goodness of his heart, he gave me private lessons himself, no charge. We would meet after school, you know, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, something like that, and just go over, you know, rudiments on snare drum and bass drum and all of these things. And so I really excelled with that as well. And within a year, so this is like 11th grade, 12th grade rolls around, I graduate, and Chris gave me, awarded me the Louis Armstrong Jazz Award for my, you know, abilities in playing drums and guitar and all of that stuff. Yeah. And quite an interesting award. Some of the people that have been awarded this include like Steve Vai.
Oh, wow.
Let's see, Trey Parker from South Park fame, and then a smattering of other like
people.
Iconic. There's you can you know, just go on Wikipedia and see the list of iconic people that have got it, but it's not something that's just handed out willy-nilly, you know. And so I felt very honored to receive that award. It was quite a surprise to me. I didn't even know it existed, and then I, you know, researched it, and I was like, wow, like, this is crazy. So it was pretty good moment for me. That's actually coming on about, I think, 10 years ago. It's probably like 10-year anniversary of that. So it's really interesting looking back and seeing how far it went. So I took that through, went to college for music composition, and spent a lot of time there doing that. I didn't complete my degree due to family issues, stuff like that.
Understandable, no judgment.
So, but
you go get your bearings though, and
yeah,
you can.
It gave me an idea of the music scene. Before that, we had like maybe 20 people in our high school band. Very small high school. There's 90 people in my graduating class. So, very small. And so I went to Cape Girardeau for college down there at SEMO. And that was my first real like experience with a large group of musicians. It was very interesting, and I've got a lot of really good contacts down there. Really good friends, some people that I still am friends with.
Yeah, that's why you go and play Cape Girardeau so often, right?
So. Yeah. So connecting that to this band, I actually played with these guys from Minus Mike in college of 9-10 years ago or whatever it was. And we played a couple of shows down there before I had to go back home and deal with the family issues and stuff. And it was a good time. Gary and his son Cody, shout out to those guys, great people. And so he hit me up the end of last year and was like, "Hey, our guitarist vocalist Mike is leaving. So hey, would you consider rekindling the old flame?"
Right.
And so it was like, sure, let's see what we can do. Let's make it work. And so it was really cool reconnecting with those guys, coming back, and they haven't changed a bit.
That's always a plus.
Yeah. So it's very cool. And then left college around 2013, 14, something like that. I don't know. The years all run together now.
Right. No, totally.
But went back to Bowling Green, bummed around doing odd jobs and things like that, trying to save up. So my college advisor, we had meetings like every week, and one week I had shown him some of my original music, and he was like, "Well, is this what you want to do? Do you want to write music like this?" And
Make money. Yeah.
and he was like, "Look, I mean, the college thing is great." And I don't think he was the reason I quit college, but he was like,
yeah, and I kind of, if I had known that I wanted to be a musician, I don't think I would have gone to college. I would have taken that time, and while I was young, I would have hit it hard.
right.
You know what I mean? When I wasn't tied down to anything, and I could afford to be sleeping in a car by myself in LA or something.
Well, and that's what
instead of getting myself into debt, right? And
Yeah.
you had the right idea. You know what I mean? It's nice that I have a degree that I can use to get other jobs and stuff too, but and have a fallback plan. That was the real reason I went to college. Actually, I went to college thinking I was going to be a history teacher.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
okay.
That's another story for another podcast, though.
Hey, I actually, I really like history, and one of my good friends, he's a current roommate. He's a history major, and
is he my doppelganger?
No,
other guy. Okay.
Other guy. But
both super cool.
He doesn't use it. He does something totally different. He doesn't use his history degree at all. So I mean, like,
it's like, why did I do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to make connections and network a little bit, hopefully with people in your field, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish I had just like not gone and like gone to Nashville or LA and really like made some connections out there instead.
Yeah, just get your feet on the ground. And that's what Dr. Fruwald had told me. And he said, like, you can go here, you can get the college thing, but I'll tell you have only a limited amount of options once you go through this. Is you're going to have a decent amount of debt at the end, which I went with a partial full ride. It wasn't a full ride,
but that's still a lot.
I had most of my college. I don't have any debt from college.
That's cool.
From the time that I went, and that was all on academic merit.
That's pretty solid.
It was great, man. But he gave me the advice. He was like, if you want to do what you're doing, which is writing like pop music, rock music, that type of thing, he's like, you're in the wrong place, man. You're just spinning your wheels here. I can see that you already have gained all of the musical knowledge that you need to complete what you want to do. If you want to go farther, stick around. Do your thing, and we can teach you a little bit more, not much more. I mean, of course, music is a lifelong endeavor, and even
You're
people
always learning, right?
Yeah, people with doctorates, I can teach them something, they can teach me something. It's people that I've played with for 70 years, same way. I've taught them something, they've taught me something, so.
Before we get too much further on, do me a favor and move the mic down, kind of like mine is like down under my just so that it's not like covering your face, from the camera. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Hey.
There you go. Better.
Works.
You're beautiful. Let the people
I'm just trying to hide behind this microphone here, you know.
You're a little shy. No,
Don't look at me.
You've been on stage so many times. You're fine.
No,
You're
yeah.
fine.
Shy is the opposite of what I am, kind of. But yeah, man. So it was interesting getting that type of advice from somebody who was in the field. He was a doctor. He'd been playing his whole life, and he just told me some of the stories of living out in L.A. And like he was composing music for some movie. He got paid like $700 a bar, and so it was like a 2.5 minute like car chase scene, and he just cranked up the tempo and was like, okay, well, it's 1,000 bars, so just write, wrote the music like that, and they paid him like that. He was like, the industry is just, it's all about who you know, and it's not necessarily about what you know, because as opposed to a field like nursing or a field like engineering or astrophysics, like you can teach yourself everything about music without going to college. It's really easy, and you can do the same with being a doctor. But
or
I mean,
carpentry or something. I wouldn't want no YouTube learn doctor.
That's what I'm saying.
Surgeoning on me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Operating, no.
But some of the biggest musicians that you've ever heard never went to college.
Yeah,
they
Post Malone.
Yeah, they dropped out of college, maybe dropped out of high school. Some of them.
Yeah.
They had like Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, Jimi Hendrix. Most of those people didn't get any college degree. Or
Jimi Hendrix was in the army though.
He did go to the army for a little bit.
Yeah.
And he was discharged, right?
I don't know.
He didn't complete the army. I'm pretty sure he didn't.
He was playing guitar in the army though, for sure. I've seen
a
picture or two of that. That blows my mind when I see it.
That's a great picture, by the way.
What was the first band you joined?
So
is that your college band or earlier?
I did have a group of musicians in high school that I played with. Great people. I'm still friends with most of them. And we played in this dude's garage, a classic garage band.
Nice. Gotta have those experiences.
And we called ourselves The Resistance, which has been taken by 1,000 different bands.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine.
Since and stuff, and we were just playing in a
high school band.
Yeah, we were just having fun.
Good. You gotta get your sense of like how to be in a band somehow, right?
Well, and that's what's really important, and that's what a lot of people don't get, even if they go to college for music, is they don't get a chance to know how to interact with other musicians.
Especially in a rock band. How does a rock band function? Well, if that's their first one, you never really know. You know what I mean?
It's a lot different than
and that's also
an orchestra.
Why in every fucking rock band I've had, there's been a goddamn smoke break halfway through the frickin' rehearsal, because that's what the first band's precedent was. You know what I mean? God damn it. You know what I mean? But
hey, let's take a break real quick and step outside. Let's play some Call of Duty. Hey, you guys want to play some Call of Duty? I'm tired of playing bass or whatever. Who knows? Playing guitar.
That's the high school bands, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, like it was.
What?
It was just fun. It was fun. It was good to hanging out with the people, and it kind of reaffirmed my suspicion.
Right, that you were destined to be a rock star.
Yeah. To put it in a less humble way. But no, it was super fun, man. And so that was the first band. And then since then, I think it was the college band. Then moved back. Worked at the post office for like 3 or 4 years.
Nice.
It was good. It was good. It was a nice gig. It was a good way to save money. But I was kind of always had this plan in my head. To do music, it was always a process going, and even now I still have a process in my head. Don't want to tell all of my details, but of course, I mean, in the moment, everything feels like it's really organic and like nothing is planned and all of that. Like that's how I enjoy life like that, but in the background there's an underlying motive.
Organization,
Yeah. It's the train is not stopped.
That's the work ethic that you were talking about, like having grown into. That's par for the course.
Right. Well, and that's something that is pretty important, especially if you're going to be a musician, because
big time.
you can't.
Nobody's going to give you the money. You know what I mean? For just sitting at home, right?
Yeah.
You got to go out there and find the money.
Even if you have
the opportunities. Right?
Yeah, even if you have the work ethic to practice at home. I mean, you can't just practice at home. I mean, some people can nowadays with YouTube, I guess.
Yeah.
But by and large, you have to get out there. You have to do it. You have to be the musician.
Exactly.
You can't just think about being the musician. You got to be the musician. So, yeah, having that work ethic has always been, a big motivating factor for me. And it goes back to my parents, of course. I mean, my pops, even today, he's going on 60. He works 14 hours a day. And always out there. Even on his days off, he goes out to his house and he builds stuff for 14 hours a day. It's a lifestyle. It's not even a choice. It's just wake up, go out and do something. It's not, oh, I don't feel like this, or I got a cough. I don't want to do this. There's no excuses.
No, I'm alive. I got to do something today with my time.
Right, yeah. It's a blessing to be here, and so you got to use the blessing. Use it or lose it, right, as they say.
What is your favorite concert you've ever played? Do you have one?
My personal, what I've played?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of them. Each one is unique.
I know.
And each one
that stands out as thus far to this point, best concert you've ever played, favorite concert you ever played, or I guess those are two different questions. Favorite concert you've ever played.
Favorite, best, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I really enjoyed my first performance. Was playing at a talent show at my high school, and it was quite a crowd. It was quite an experience, but honestly, my favorite show was probably the show with you at the Boat Bar, man.
That was a pretty good show.
It was super fun.
And you know what, man? What was great was you put on such a heck of a show that I could put my guard down and relax for a little bit. You know what I mean? It was very awesome. And I set myself up in the perfect spot to chillax and hear y'all perfectly and enjoy your set and not be bothered.
There you go. Yeah.
That's why I enjoyed that one so much. It was so good. And then our sets were great too.
Yeah, man. I stuck
crowd
around.
That night was awesome.
We had such a great crowd.
Your crowd was awesome too. Jesus Christ, they were partiers,
I know a lot of partiers. I used to be a big partier. I loved to party, but the lifestyle caught up with me, and so I was like,
totally. You got to be able to maintain yourself too. And with I never think about my vocal quality, right? I'm a guitarist first or an instrumentalist first, but I'm the fucking lead singer in my band. I need to do something to maintain my voice a little bit, right?
Right.
You gotta take care of yourself,
Well, and it goes back to, all of the rock stars that a big influence. He used to have I think he still has a podcast or a radio show. It's Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
And he tells, he's kind of like the living example. He's like, if I didn't stop drinking, I wouldn't be here. If I didn't stop partying, I wouldn't. And the people that didn't stop partying aren't here. Jimi Hendrix went out partying. Keith Moon went out partying. John Bonham went out partying.
You keep going. Tom Petty.
As many as you want. Yeah. And that's the point, is that, at some point
the party catches up to you and it's not a party anymore. It's
right.
Time.
Yeah, exactly. And so you got to at least control it. And I'm not saying anybody that drinks is bad or anybody that smokes is bad or anybody that parties is bad, but
you got to keep yourself in check.
That's right. That's right.
It's not me judging anybody else. It's not me judging me. It's me taking care of me. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I mean, if you're, what's that dude that has the dine-ins and drives? If you're voted the biggest partier of your college and you make a living off of partying, more power to you. Right. That's great for you, but that's just not me. That's not for me. And so I still like to party. I still like to hang out with people to party, but I just control myself, and that's all it's about.
No, that's cool.
It's using the same kind of work ethic. It's just self-control.
Totally, man. Let's see. Musicians and bands that inspire you.
Every single one I've seen.
Every musician. That's true. That's a good one.
Every musician and every band, even the bad ones, no names, but like they're all inspiring in some way, shape, or form. So, if I could, just give any advice, is just like, especially if you're a musician, is go out and watch other people.
Right.
Because you're gonna find inspiration either to do better, or inspiration on what to do or what not to do, or inspiration
push yourself to go out and do it.
Yeah. Just go watch your fellow musicians, because that's the community that we live in. And so like a couple of them stand out. Like actually last Friday, whenever it was, Carlos Santana came through. I saw Carlos Santana and Earth, Wind and Fire. Phenomenal. A legend, and it was a great show. I mean, in every musical performance that I've been to, it's hard to make that detachment and just be a fan, but I still enjoy even going to somebody's show and like watching them like a hawk. Like, oh, is that a paradiddle? Did that dude do a paradiddle? What is he doing? What's Carlos Santana doing? Well, that's a really cool lick. How did he do that?
Man, I hate that too, and my brain does it too, bro. I can't not pick apart the technique or the theory behind what he's doing, especially on like crazy improvised solos. I'm just like,
yeah, the analysis. It's just like, and that's the musician brain.
Yeah, but then you're not hearing all of the band members. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
which is super bad when you're in the band.
Right.
And you're doing all the theory that's why you got to practice. Get the thinking through the theory on what you're going to do done ahead of time, so you can be listening to your band. That's all.
Well, right. Well, and that's the thing.
I'm guilty of that. Hardcore.
Especially in a band setting, you should first and foremost, going into a band, you should be comfortable enough with your own instrument and your own abilities to not watch yourself like a hawk.
Right.
You can't just be focused on, I got to adjust my tone. I got to do this. I got to do that it's not about you. It's about the band at that point. You have to listen to the band. How am I complimenting the band? Oh, does the bassist want a bass solo? Does the drummer want to have a drum fill? I heard the drummer do, it's time to end the song. Whatever. You're constantly...
You miss a transition or miss a fill.
Right, is focusing on yourself instead of listening to everybody else. Yeah, so I mean, like, that's almost like I would think a prerequisite to being in a band is, like, be comfortable in even if you don't have to be good, you just have to be comfortable, I mean, I don't think I'm good. Nobody thinks they're God, other than Yngwie Malmsteen, maybe.
Or Eric Clapton.
Right, like, they've been at it for so long. They have, a level of confidence. And even those guys aren't, overly cocky. They're not overly into themselves. They will still say, "Hey, yeah, I'm still learning stuff every day." Yeah. And so like it's all about they're just so comfortable and they enjoy it. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Main thing is go have fun, right?
Yeah.
You're a musician. Have fun with it, right? You always dreamed of it. Enjoy it.
Yeah, so if I would say anything about, musicians inspiring me, it's the ones that I go out there and I see that they're having fun. Those are the ones that inspire me the most. Right.
That's a great answer, my man. That's probably the most original answer I've got on this show thus far. Oh, you take a second. Sip up. You all take a sip, too. This one's for you. Cheers.
That's right. Cheers. That water train.
Okay. Let's see. Craziest concert experience, like while you were playing.
My concert experience.
Craziest concert experience while you were on stage.
There's been a couple of times where I was on stage and people started fighting in the crowd.
Yeah.
It's always funny.
Yeah. That's fun.
It's pretty wacky. I was at this open mic night once and these two ladies started fighting and somehow got on stage fighting and like knocked over a microphone stand, and the band was just like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, get off stage! What are you doing? This is ridiculous."
Like hopped on stage and was fighting.
They were like fighting and somehow like worked their way towards the stage, and like it happened so fast. It was hard to see what was going on, but it was just like, Jesus, come on now. What's going on here? But a couple of those instances, let's see. I had one. Yeah, when I was doing my first performance at that the talent show thing in my high school, that was the only time that I felt like it was crazy. That was the only time I really felt nervous. Ever since then, nerves are died down. There's no nerves. No, it's excitement for me. But at that point, I had never played in front of a crowd, and so that, from my experience, that was probably the craziest, because it was just like, all right, I'm sitting here waiting, like the tension is just building up, like what's going on here? Like, why do I feel these weird butterflies? And this is weird. What is this?
I'll say this, that my butterflies pre-show, I'll get them sometimes. It's nowhere near what it was high school bands and stuff.
Yeah.
More so, I'm looking forward to being on stage. I'd say the butterflies were replaced by this. When I'm on stage and I'm mid-set, I can be in the middle of singing. I can be mid-soloing. I get a thought in the back of my brain that goes, hey, you were looking forward to this. Keep having, like, I go on stage ready to have fun, right?
Yeah.
I have this thought in the back of my head that goes, hey, it's almost over. Have fun with it, bro. Because it's in 30 minutes, you're done, and nobody's coming to a show for a while. You know what I mean? This is your time. Have fun with it. So
that's a good way to look.
Yeah. Let's see. Favorite concert you've seen as an attendee?
Oh, man.
I know. You can give me 2 or 3 if you need to, but that's a toughie.
Santana was great. Just recently. I also saw Leon Bridges in May.
Ooh.
And that was phenomenal. Killed it. Him and his whole band were on. Let's see. But I think the one that takes the cake, in October, my friend Brian, shout out, what a good guy, bought tickets for me and him and both of our dads to go and see the Rolling Stones when they came through.
Oh my God.
And
that's awesome.
He's a great guy. He was like, I'm sorry, they're not good. I was like, I don't care, they're not good tickets. That's the Rolling Stones, man. We're going.
Tickets for that were ridiculous too. Like,
I don't know.
Any tickets were good tickets.
That's what I mean. I have no clue what he spent, but it was enough. I'm forever indebted. Because
Thank Brian.
It was such a good show, and Mick Jagger is like 80 years old, still moving like Jagger, man. He's crazy. Twirling his legs and all kinds of crazy, jumping up and down and stuff. It's like, dude, what's going on here, man?
Pull a hit, bro.
Right. And it was just hit after hit. I mean, the Rolling Stones have so many hits, they couldn't get to all of them. But they played, for over 2 hours straight. No breaks. Nothing. Mick Jagger went backstage while Keith Richards did his one song, Right. But, I mean, it was just song after song after song. And it was just such a great experience. I mean, the sound was great. And Brian's dad actually saw them the first time they came to St. Louis in '66.
Oh, wow.
And so at first he was kind of hesitant. He was like, well, I don't want to ruin that memory or whatever, so it's such a good memory. But afterwards he was like, it was 1,000 times better. It was great. The sound was good. I mean, it wasn't 1960s technology. It was 2021 or whatever technology, so it's just such great sound.
On the sound quality.
Yeah, and such a great experience. The stage show, the lights, the backup singers. One of the backup singers, like for "Gimme Shelter," came up front stage and was just like, doing that part. Oh man, it was so beautiful. What a great show. That's probably the one.
Rolling Stones song too is "Give Me Shelter."
Oh yeah, it would be a great one to cover if if you could find somebody to sing that background vocal. You just can't go without
Too
that.
tough. Too tough. Your boy couldn't do it.
That's what I mean, man.
Okay. Let's talk. We're getting towards the end of our interview. Goals moving forward. What are you working towards, my man? Where do you see yourself here in the future, or what are you working towards there?
Well, I see life for myself, and I hope everybody else sees it as like a series instead of like really short chunks of like 30 minutes or an hour, or really long chunks of like 80 or 100 years. I see kind of in the middle, like 5 years. Every 5 years, 4 years, something like that. Kind of like set yourself up to attain some things. So I definitely want to release the multitude of albums I'm working on right now.
I would like to see that too.
Like the rest of my family is the same way. My aunt is a phenomenal painter. Her daughter is a phenomenal painter. My dad is a good guitar player, but he's a really good at building things.
Yeah.
And my Uncle John, he's a great guitar player. My Uncle Matt, he's a great drummer. But we all have 1,000 projects going on at once.
Right.
And
so it's like you need to complete some stuff,
Yes,
we
yes,
narrow
that's
down the list.
That's the thing. Yeah, man. And so right now I've got 4 albums of material that I want to release very soon.
But we got to deal with the BMI and ASCAP stuff.
Got to deal with the rights. Got to deal with doing it properly.
I said BMI. That might not be right. Was it BMI?
BMI, ASCAP.
Okay, cool.
There's one
all
more.
I can think is when I say that is body mass index.
Right.
I'm like,
it's hard to make the disconnect in the Okay. What's my BMI now? But yeah, release some stuff. Definitely do a lot of shows. This year has been probably the most fruitful as far as shows so far, and so I think every year, because with music, it's almost like a seasonal thing. You can still do gigs during the winter,
but you almost have to set them up and set yourself up in a good situation.
Yeah, you've got to definitely work through the.
I did the boat bar mid like December, January or something like that. So cold.
Yeah.
So cold.
Really cold.
Your boy was just chilling on the patio for half an hour, right?
Right. Oh man, yeah. So
cold. Love that place though. Love that place so much.
I think I want to maybe do twice as many shows next year,
and get some stuff released.
Actually, this summer, I believe I'll have at least one, if not 2 of these albums coming out.
These albums come out when you're week or 2 before it, come back on, and we're gonna promote the hell out of them. Okay.
Cool.
Sound good?
Yeah, man. Hey,
you let me know when. Okay.
I appreciate you accommodating.
That's what That's what I'm here for. We gotta shout out local St. Louis musicians and support local music in all angles, right? So.
Absolutely.
And let's see, one last one for you. Anyone you want to shout out right now, or anyone that is deserved of the Savage of the Week spot?
Well, I do want to give a shout out to Forgiving Tree. If you guys haven't listened to Forgiving Tree, check them out.
That's my band, baby. Thank you.
Great band.
Appreciate you.
Great band. They got some shows coming up, soon to be announced. And then shout out to all of my band members.
Yeah.
Too many to list.
Yeah. Shout out Steve. I love you, Steve. You rock.
Yes, the drummer.
Yeah.
I was actually gonna suggest him as the Savage of the Week because he's a savage on drums, but he's also a great dad to his daughter, and he kicks ass at working. Yeah. He's got a more of a work ethic than I do, and it's inspiring to see somebody like that. That's just every morning at 5:30, get up, let's go out and do it. And so he's always on the ball with something like that.
Shout out Steve. Savage of the Week, my man. Right on.
Oh, man. Yeah. Do you have any Savage of the Week in your mind?
Well, I was going to nominate you for coming on, bro. Obviously, one of my favorite St. Louis musicians, favorite people to go watch their shows. So, Gotta have you as the Savage of the Week, in my opinion, too. But Steve,
Honored.
you're on there too, bro. We're sharing it.
Definitely.
And both of you played one hell of a show at the Boat Bar with us, so deservedly so, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude, that was so fun, and I hope that we get more shows together.
We will, brother. We will.
On the same bill. It's great.
I have a good time. Honestly, dude, I look back, my favorite era of, like, rock and roll is that, like, 60s San Francisco and American rock, and, like, I always saw the pictures of the bands hanging out before, you know.
Yeah, they're getting ready to go on.
That's the kind of community I want. People who are just like, oh, Forgiving Tree's there? I love those guys. Let's go kick it with them. They're fucking tremendous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I feel with your band. I love seeing you guys. I love listening to your music. It's the shit I'd be listening to anyways. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's tremendous. So.
Oh, man. Also, I want to give shout out to 88.1 KDHX.
Bro.
For always playing the best local music.
Yeah. Hey, guys. You want to, like, find new music? You're sick of, like, what your Spotify shuffle's been giving you? Listen to your local independent radio stations, okay? And I'm talking 88.1 in St. Louis is the one to listen to. Or,
absolutely.
You know, and the thing with them is they got a different radio hour every, like, 2 hours to an hour.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's such an eclectic.
You never know what you're listening to when you're tuning in. It could be Turkmenistan music. It could be Irish jigs. It could be blues. It could be soul. It could be any number of things, guys.
Yeah. It's phenomenal. And each... I believe most of the DJs have, like, a regular thing. They have, like, you know, if you want to just listen to, like, blues, you tune in to Thursday at 3, or I don't know the exact times of everybody, but
used
like
to be the Grateful Dead hour was Saturdays at 11. So right when the concerts would get out at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater,
oh yeah,
you get in the car, the parking lot's fucked up. Just throw on the Grateful Dead hour, smoke J down, and fucking
that's
get
right.
out of there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love that station. And then if there's something on it that you're not down with, it's a short scroll up to 88.7.
Also
the
great.
Jazz station. Yeah.
Yeah. WSIE.
The sound.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh man, someone was telling me that was the sound. I think that was in That 70s Show, right? That was the radio station that Donna worked
ran?
at.
Yeah,
I believe it was the sound. It could be wrong.
Let's see. How are we doing on time? I need to check. We're doing okay. Let's try to run through tips a little quick, okay? So we can get to. We both got to work. It's the same job later. We got to get there on time. So, thank you again for coming on. I want to say that again before we hop into our segments, man. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Go support Adam J. Feather. We're going to announce when he drops these albums, too. So make sure you go and follow him on Instagram, Facebook. Follow the Boomerangs, Adam Feather, and minus Mike. Got it. What was the other one that was...
De Soleil.
Right. I wanted to say The Resistance. I was getting
confused.
Close.
Close.
De Soleil. And as always, go check out the Adam J. Feathers project when it's around to be seen. You know, that's even more reason you got to go see that shit, because is it always gigging? No, we got to go get it while it's there, right? So
That's right. Okay,
we got a couple tips for y'all today. So let's start off, man. We got tips for surviving the week. Pew, 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 pew.
I have created a little note here. What did I have? Tips for surviving the week. Oh, yeah. Go out and get some sun.
Yeah, that's a good one. Getting that vitamin D. I always throw that on there sometimes.
Get a walk in.
Well,
doesn't matter.
D,
just sit on the patio. Sit on the front porch of your house. Sit on the front step of your house. Doesn't matter. Just get out.
Take a walk through the park. Drive down to your local park a mile down the road. Take a walk.
That's right. Yeah. Anything to get you out
air.
Of your out of being your cocoon.
Right.
You know, got to get out of that cocoon.
That's a good one. More tips for surviving the week? What helps you get out of a funk?
Finding something that is a motivation. So I've listened to a lot of the Joe Rogan podcast, and always a good motivation. Your podcast, Music and Motivation, is obviously good motivation. But just getting up, if it's tough to, like let's say you're trying to stay in bed, Just have that little voice that says, what if, instead of saying, oh, well,
what if I fail? What if it went well?
What if it went well? Exactly. Yes.
You got to turn the negative thoughts around somehow. Hey, man, and here's a good tip for the week. If you, my brain can be mean to me more than anybody else. You know what I mean? I'm my biggest critic. So if you got a fucking mean brain and it tells you mean shit like you're not good enough to do something or it won't matter because you da. You know what I mean?
The brain does stuff.
It does that. It's kind of an asshole sometimes.
Yeah.
Tell it to fuck off.
That's right.
Hey, fuck off, brain.
The brain is not always in control.
Come on, man. Yeah, you gotta think outside of that.
Disconnect a little bit.
Hey, fuck you, brain. I'm just fine, dude.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's a good one.
Do a couple of tips for musicians and music lovers, man. And tip number 1 always is keep practicing. Okay? You don't get better unless you practice whatever skill you're trying to get better at. So, put in the practice, man. I always tell everybody minimum 3 to 4 times a week, at least 20 to 30 minutes. But if you sit down for that 20 to 30 minutes, normally turns into an hour because you have fun and you enjoy yourself and you forgot, oh, yeah, I enjoy this shit. Right.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, even just picking up the instrument.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, 5 minutes. I'll pick it up. And then, 30 minutes go by. You're like, oh.
Shit, I'm late for work. God
right. I didn't realize I was practicing. But that's a better problem to have than being a musician and not practicing enough.
Exactly.
Certainly. So, another tip, obviously we talked about getting your rights sorted out earlier. Make sure that you cover your ass on stuff like that.
Copyright. Look into copyright, guys.
Copyright, very important.
Especially us, when you're trying to start off and you're like, man, everybody's being an independent podcaster, independent musician, independent video guy. You don't see the backups that they put in place to make sure that they own their shit to retain their independence, to get paid from being independent, right? That's why you got to figure this shit out. That's why I got to figure this shit out. That's why he's got to figure this shit out.
Everybody.
Look into it. Here's a starting ground. Go look into what we're talking about. Music, licensing, BMI, ASCAP, and start looking into the difference between the two. Okay, that's a good jumping off point.
Absolutely.
Learn the difference between, what is it, recording rights and artist rights? Is that the I'm using wrong terms there?
There's recording if you're covering. There's artist rights if you're writing. There's composer rights if you're writing. And
sometimes you're all three. Figure that out.
Yeah, definitely want to. And also cover your own ass if you're a hip hop artist and you're sampling people. Get the rights. Don't get your stuff pulled.
Exactly.
It's all important. And then the other tip that I would have is if you get in a funk and you're like hitting a wall, don't be afraid to take a break. Don't be afraid to cleanse the palate. As a matter of fact, the other day, I was feeling like a little overwhelmed by all the music that's going on in my life and all of that I've been listening to, learning, sometimes 15 or 20 songs a week, upwards of maybe 40 songs a week sometimes. And
you got to retain the ones that were already there.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah. Like the number is really high. It's over 500 at this point, God. But it's super important to take a break, cleanse the palate. The other day I was going on Spotify and looking up just as many non-music things. So there's a cat's purring playlist. There's a cat's meowing playlist. There's dogs barking. There's an annoying sounds. There's construction sounds. There's all kinds of things.
I listen to so many podcasts for like the same reason. I just need to get my ears off the music for a little bit.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's always the goal, especially if you're a musician, to be with music, but you can get overwhelmed, and in those instances, just step back for a day. Listen to a podcast. Listen to, crocodiles eating things or whatever. It doesn't matter. Just, get your ears off of it. That's also important for people that are, like, writing their own music, mixing their own music.
You gotta give your ears a break after a certain point. You can
absolutely.
What's the words they call that?
it's almost like ear blind, like in a sense. So you get so used to your own music, listening to your voice.
Catching the mistakes.
Right, yeah.
You listen to the mistake 20,000 times and now you think it's part of it. But so you got to be able to give your ears breaks while you're mixing. That's a huge one too.
Very important. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do a couple albums of the week real quick. Got a couple albums that have really inspired you or resonate with you that you'd like to shout out for our listeners to go check out. That's why we do this, guys.
That's right. Last week I was listening pretty much all week. I've been listening to No Fences, which is Garth Brooks' second album. His first album was his debut. His second album was No Fences. He was one of the rare examples where he put out an album and it blew up just instantly. His first album is multi-platinum, but his second album is his biggest selling. It's 17 times platinum.
Yeah.
Garth Brooks is right now the biggest selling artist in America. He has more diamond certified albums than anybody in the history of music.
So whether or not you like his music, you should look into him.
Just listen to it, and it's really actually it's quite inspiring because he also grew up from rural area. Grew up in Oklahoma, I believe, and music wasn't his first choice, but it chose him, and he ended up being very successful with it. And he's a phenomenal vocalist, and the backing band that he has playing in this album in particular, No Fences, it's the one with all the hits on it, like Friends in Low Places and Two of a Kind, Working on Full House, and Thunderwolves and stuff like that. So, great album. Also, around that era, I'm big on the 90s stuff, is, actually this is 88, I believe, is Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
It's one of the first albums that I ever listened to on my own. So my parents obviously listened to classic rock. My mom had Keishi on, even to this day, every day, all day. Yeah. It's on at her house. She's got the radio on. She doesn't turn it off. It's Keishi all day.
That's awesome.
And so I grew up with that. But
you need a little break from that, so you got a little NWA action.
That's right. Yeah, and awesome, that's one of the first albums outside of rock and roll that I had listened to, and I was pretty young when I listened to it. But
mad love and respect. That's
phenomenal album. And they really broke the ground with that one. Because up to that point, people weren't really that album got a lot of flack because of its content, but they were just it was just observational. They were just seeing what was going on in the surroundings and writing about it. Right. And it was just such a different approach than what everybody else had been doing up to that point, especially in like the hip hop and rap game. And they threw a lot of people off with it, but it gets all the praise it deserves. They were really, intelligent about the way they put it out. It was great. So I really love that album.
I wouldn't expect that one. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've got quite a bit of course, I listen to just about everything. I tell all of my students, I'll listen to Two Cats Fighting in a Bag, record it. I'll listen to it at least once, and I'll tell you what it's like, But I have a spot in my heart for a lot of rock and roll, but also a lot of hip hop and rap, and of course jazz, R&B. Actually, I believe the next concert I'm going to go to is that's not my own, of course, is Alicia Keys. She's coming to St. Louis in August, 21st, maybe something like that, and I would really love to go see her because she's phenomenal too. She's started working on her first album when she was 14. And not a lot of people know she played all the piano on it. She's a phenomenal pianist and great singer. So it'd be really cool to go see her. Really influential.
Well, awesome, dude. That's a good range of albums for the week. I think we're good.
Yeah. And the Alicia Keys first album was called Songs in A Minor, I believe, something like that.
And they were all in A minor.
They weren't. They were not.
Okay, I was about to say that'd be kind of cool.
It'd be cool. It would be cool.
It'd be a very sad album.
Right. It'd be kind of Mozart-y or Beethoven-y.
I'm game for it though.
But yeah, man, definitely. Those three albums, probably my three recommended albums. Do you have any?
I do this every week. You know, I'm happy to take the week off.
Hey,
I keep reusing albums sometimes too, because that's what I'm listening to at the time.
okay,
You know what I mean?
yeah, just
So,
recycling them.
yeah,
I'm
I like
just
getting
curious,
some new stuff, you know.
get into your brain a little bit and see what you're listening to. But
Okay, let's do some news, some Chris Davis news, updates, and plugs real quick. Okay.
Cool.
So Forgiving Tree is off for July. We're doing recording. We're trying to get 2 singles recorded at least, if not more. It's going to be good.
very exciting.
Very exciting. We got a band meeting rehearsal tonight to talk about it, set stuff up. And then, let's see, we're playing Sky Music Lounge August 5th, which is a Friday. That's going to be the Brian Farmer Birthday Bash Extravaganza up there, because my man Farmer, who was like my best man at my wedding, and he was up at the last show. You might have seen him.
Okay, shout out to Farmer.
Shout out to Farmer. It's his birthday's the day before, so like
Nice.
he'll be coming into St. Louis for his birthday. We're going to be doing a couple songs that he requested. It's going to be lit.
Sweet.
Let's see. We got another show. This the bigger show that's even going to be crazier than that Birthday Bash Extravaganza. We got invited to open for this New York band that's coming to town called Makes My Blood Dance. They heard of
Cool.
us and wanted a few local acts to help get people to come to it, help sell tickets. It is a ticketed event, so hit your boy up or Kelly for tickets, okay? Or Alex, obviously. Any one of the Forgiving Tree members has tickets to sell, okay?
Great.
But that's cool. There's going to be multiple acts on that bill, and should be 4 or 5, actually. It should be pretty loaded, and should be an awesome night because everybody's hard rock or metal. So it's going to be right with those hard rock fans that we love. So
Great. And where is that going to be at?
it's in Arnold, and I'm going to keep giving details as we go. I'm not actually sure on the location. I just know it's in Arnold, which I was like,
Arnold.
where in Arnold?
It's going to be sometime in August.
Yeah, August 22nd.
Awesome.
21st? August 21st weekend.
Yeah. Somewhere around there.
And then that's all the dates I got on for right now with Forgiving Tree. Again, recording. And you guys should catch my man, Adam J. Feather, at all of his dates coming up soon. You want to shout him out one more time?
Appreciate it. Yeah. Boomerang's playing in Bowling Green, Missouri. This Saturday, the 9th.
July 9th.
And then also July 30th at Sky Music Lounge, August 13th at Balducci Winery in Augusta. And then if you're in the southern area, Cape Girardeau, Adam Feather and Minus Mike are going to be playing July 10th. So that's the day after the 9th. That's this Sunday at the Bayou Smokehouse.
Sweet.
And then we're playing the 29th. It's a Friday. On July 29th, it's at the library, which is downtown Cape. And then we've got, let's see, I think August 19th, I believe it's a Friday or Saturday, at the Sand Trap, and that's near Farmington, Missouri.
Sweet, dude. Well, hey.
It's a lot.
That is a lot of shows. It's good to be busy, right?
It's very good, especially in this industry.
Right. Well, bro, hey, thank you again for coming on so much, dude. We're going to have to do it again, especially when you get these albums dropping.
Hey, no problem, man.
The hell out of them. And,
well, do you mind if I play one more song?
Yeah,
here at the
totally.
end?
Let's play out on a song.
Okay.
Here.
So this is going to be different than the original, the first song that we had.
Right, what is this next one going to be
The
called?
next one is off the rap hip-hop album, and it's called Admission. So
Nice.
I'll get that queued up in a sec.
Thank you again for coming on, my man. Let's get this camera switched.
Thank you for
See you
having me,
guys.
man.
Thank you. Thank you for watching, and please enjoy my man Adam Feather's music one more time. Give it up.
Ambiance, every nuisance, shimmering with grain translucent. Darkest night, yet still no fright. Solace found in eyes so bright. Feet on soil, midnight oil burning. Fast like kings and royals, always learning. Earth still turning, our future and face uncertain. Friends around, love abound. Plant those seeds deep in the ground. Quickly changing, rearranging. Dancing flames look so amazing. Lost in thought, but never lost. These priceless times have no real cost. Inner speaker, moment seeker. Life without fearing the reaper. Never soft, thoughts are lost. Contending the bounce of traditional thought. Provoking ideas, getting fears. Speaking the wisdom of millions of years. Quick to elaborate, made to collaborate. Always fresh, never from concentrate, standing tall. Peace to all, get ready, here comes the ball. We gonna ball. Get ready, we gonna ball. We gonna ball. Get ready. Out of mind, left behind without the sun, we do not shine. In the air, is a fair vision in this world is rare. Leaders in this world don't care. Frequency of love we share. Relations don't come in pairs. We're all connected through our prayers. Finding different hopes to keep believing. So long as we keep deceiving all the souls we reap. Trying not to be the sheep. Wearing masks that look so sleek. Not realizing that masks are weak. Telling others we aren't fake. Our own reality at stake. We gonna ball. Get ready, we gonna ball. We gonna ball. Get ready. Times are now behind. Don't rewind, we'll be just fine. Forward thinking, not a crime. To keep your mind intertwined with undefined and unconfined thoughts of life, streamline humankind. Keeping hindsight 2020. There's no need for conscious money, sonny. No amount of money could shake these views. I'm never running, never gunning. Peace is all that's ever coming. Out this mind, third eye, not blind, not outshine. Mine's the brightest in this world of mine, and it's a gold mine. Says the skyline is the lifeline, top of the line. Just redesign, just undermine, just reassign, just static line, some bloody lines like winding down on Valentine's. As a sign calls for a table wine. Asking about the storyline of Frankenstein. Be a genuine, not a concubine. Cause that's where I draw the line. But never mind, I'm so inspired. These colored lines are getting tired. They're overplayed, out on display. The public minds are getting wide. We're waiting for a climax. They're coming back with undesired. I'll admit I don't feel special, but that feeling is acquired. I know my message is essential. For that I feel quite admired. But for you to be my friend, admission is not required.